Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. In March of 2017, a public works official was killed when his snowplow was struck by an Amtrak train at a rail crossing in Longmeadow, Massachusetts. This tragic event marked the 7th collision and 5th death at the location since 1975, making the Longmeadow crossing the deadliest in Massachusetts. Regrettably, 33% of rail-related fatalities occur at similar grade crossings nationwide. The area where the railway line intersects with a road or path is a significant danger zone, and we need to do more to prevent these kinds of tragedies. Mr. Anderson, what is Amtrak doing to prevent fatal accidents at these grade crossings? We would like to hear that, because in Longmeadow, I'm proud to have helped Amtrak and the Massachusetts state government come together on a joint funding agreement for safety improvements at this particular crossing, including the installation of warning lights and gates. But I also understand that we're currently waiting for work to begin in Longmeadow. So, Mr. Anderson, can you provide me with any information on Amtrak's expected timeline for the Longmeadow project?
I don't have the details on the Longmeadow project. I did get your correspondence and the correspondence of the other officials. I remember writing on the top, we need to go fix this.
Okay, please.
Okay, so I got that. Look, crossings are, it's really incredible in this country, as wealthy as this country is, that we still have about 1,800 people a year die at crossings. I mean, that's a really big number. And the FRA has a good program, a good grant program, and it seemed to me that you would just methodically take Longmeadow and force rank the most dangerous intersections in the United States and use an FRA grant program, because there is a basic way to keep that from happening. And we know what that technology is, and it's just a matter of forcibly implementing a nationwide strategy to stop it from happening.
Well, we need, obviously, more work to be done, but I need you to also commit to giving us the information on Longmeadow.
Okay.
As soon as possible.
Got it.
A briefing for the community so that they know that this whole thing has been brought to a conclusion. So I
Got it.
ask you to make a commitment to do that and to do it in the very near future. And the Federal Railroad Administration recently withdrew a proposed rule that would have mandated trains, both passenger and freight, to have at least a 2-person crew. The FRA also went a step further and created a regulatory black hole by saying it would not allow individual states to control the size of train crews, no matter their unique needs. I believe the FRA's decision represents an abdication of responsibility. It is another example of the Trump administration's anti-safety regulatory rollbacks. The FRA's goal prior to the Trump administration was to make sure that there is always at least 2 certified crew members, a conductor and an engineer, on board and ready to protect the train, as well as people living besides the tracks. In response to the FRA's withdrawal of the 2-person crew rule, I'm introducing the Safe Freight Act. The legislation will mandate 2-person crew safety standards on trains nationwide. Mr. Jeffries, I know that your organization disagrees with me about the need for a national crew size rule and applauded the FRA's recent rollback. However, can you please explain whether you also believe that individual states should have zero power to protect the safety of local cargo passengers and citizens near railways? Shouldn't a state have the ability to guarantee a minimum crew size if it believes such a rule would be necessary for the unique circumstances in their state?
Thank you for that, Senator Markey. The FRA was pretty clear in its reasoning and data or lack thereof, justifying any federal crew size rule. We agreed with that. 17-year review of accidents showed that there is no data showing that having 2 individuals in the cab reduces risk of accidents. Every day we have single-person crews operating throughout the country. You're right, the AAR does not agree that it makes sense to lock in a current operating practice in perpetuity. This has always been a matter of collective bargaining, and we believe that's where it should stay. The FRA laid out its legal justification regarding its views on its action and the preemptive effects At a higher level, I would say, railroading is kind of the epitome of interstate commerce, and we feel strongly that we need to operate under a uniform code of rules and regulations, and the Federal Rail Safety Act lays that out as well, and does state when the feds act, it does have a preemptive effect. So, and for our purposes, uniformity is certainly desirable.
Right, well, from my perspective, the Obama FRA reached a different conclusion, and that's why I'm introducing legislation to proceed towards resolving the issue. So I just think it's imperative. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Markey.